demo with Chef Herbie.
Woo. Awesome. Thank you so much for that introduction, Serena, and it is so refreshing to see a live audience for the first time. This is over the last 3 demos, I was literally just looking into a camera, and it felt a little unusual. So we have an amazing recipe that we're gonna be sharing with you all today, and it's one of my favorites because it's something that I actually learned while living abroad. So today we're gonna be making Argentine beef empanadas with a delicious chimichurri sauce. So it's actually, this recipe came to me a couple of years ago with some friends that I met from Argentina, and they were making these empanadas and selling them on the beach in Costa Rica, and they were the most delicious empanadas I've ever tasted. And so how many of you have had an empanada before? Okay. Do you think it takes a lot of prep work to make empanadas? It does take a little bit of prep work, but because our cooking series is always focused on meals that are budget conscious, healthy, and also quick to make, this is also gonna fit into that category as well. So it does require some advanced preparation, but the beauty of this is if you batch cook these, you can freeze them and you can store them for later. So what we'll do today is we're gonna go through and make this recipe, and then we're gonna end up with some beautiful empanadas that look a little bit like this. So for our camera, we'll just show these. This is gonna be the finished product that we'll get to here shortly, and I'm actually gonna have some audience participation in this round, and I'm gonna have some of you all come up and help me with these. So because this does have several different parts of the recipe, I'm not gonna make everything all in front of you live. This is the chimichurri sauce that I made yesterday. My recommendation is if you're preparing the chimichurri sauce, do it 24 hours in advance so that all of those amazing flavors can be distributed into the oil, and it can be a delicious flavor that you're coming with. I also made the dough in advance because I did prepare a lot of them in advance. So I knew you were all gonna be hungry. I have a little bit of dough that I prepared in advance, and this is only about 6 ingredients. It's super easy to make, and it doesn't require any yeast or anything like that. So if you're worried about the science of cooking, especially dough, this one's really easy to make. I will admit it does have a lot of butter in it, so that is why it is so flaky and delicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna first make the filling for our Argentine empanadas, and then we're gonna go and move on to the preparation of them. So we're actually gonna fill the empanadas, and then we'll finally cook them and get to try the empanadas with some chimichurri sauce. Any questions before we get started? Yes? How long does it take? So from start to finish, if you were to start making this, it would take about 2 hours. Only because you have to let the dough sit for an hour. So if you were to prepare the dough in advance, you can actually keep it in the refrigerator for a couple days, and it will be easy to go. So again, from start to finish, it takes about 2 hours, and that's also because after you prepare the filling, you have to let it cool before you fill the empanadas. Otherwise, the temperature is going to make the dough become a sticky mess. I'll save you some. Okay, so we're gonna get started. Any other questions before we get going? Okay, no, everybody's very hungry. Okay, so we're just gonna get started, and we're gonna start by actually browning our onions in a little bit of olive oil. So I'm gonna advance this recipe a little bit. So it says about 10 minutes, but I'm gonna just advance this a little bit faster. So we're gonna do the onions, and we're just using some yellow onions. And we would cook these for about 10 minutes, and that's gonna allow the sugars to release from the onions, which is gonna give us that beautiful flavor. So we'll do the onions for a bit, and then we're gonna add in our peppers. And this is also fun because not only we have a studio audience here, but I also don't have a kitchen, so I don't have access to water or anything. So I had to kind of anticipate all the things that I would need in advance, and some things didn't quite work out so well, but everything is gonna taste delicious once we're all finished. So how many of you, this is your first culinary demonstration? Anybody participate on any of the webinars in the past or any of the live streams? No? All right, well, thank you all for being here. This is brought to you by our wellness committee. Committee is doing some amazing work trying to focus on the mental, physical, and spiritual wellness of all of our staff, as we know that is all so important. Has anybody been out for a wellness walk? No? Tuesday? Well, at least you're reading the emails. Okay, you can start to smell these onions. Garlic smelling delicious. Keep moving these around. So if you haven't heard of me or if you haven't participated in our culinary demonstrations, I am part of our Child Development Center team. And so we have 2 programs where we serve about 60 students here in Puyallup and at Fort Steilacoom. And I have the privilege of providing some amazing scratch-cooked meals for our kids. Very few of our items come out of a can, and every day we are focused on some wonderful home cooking. And we have this really cool program where we actually serve everything family style. And so that, I think, going back to your earliest childhood memories of eating, I'm sure you probably remember have fond memories of eating as a family, passing the plate around. So those are experiences that we still share with our students on a daily basis. Not only is it good for the socialization, but it also encourages our students to try new foods many times. The cool thing about this recipe too, I am going to add in our beef here. So if you're looking at the recipe, you can substitute this with any type of meat. One of my favorite things to make it out of when I was in Costa Rica is they had some amazing chorizo. So if you know what chorizo is, it was slapping. It had like the most delicious deep flavors. And I don't know, they had the chorizo de la casa. They just made this house chorizo that was so good. And so I would do it with that sometimes. Because my wife doesn't really eat beef, we would do like a turkey or a ground chicken substitute with this in lieu of the beef. You can even do a vegetarian option if you want to do just eggs and potatoes. So this is, again, one of those recipes, if you put it in your toolbox, there are so many different ways you could prepare this to get a lot of different variation. But none of those variations should be enjoyed without the chimichurri sauce. And you will all see what I mean when you get to try this. Okay, so now that we have caramelized our onions and peppers to a slight degree, gonna go ahead and keep chopping this up, and then we're gonna add in our seasonings here. And so with our seasonings, this is a heavy dose of paprika. So you're probably saying this 3 tablespoons is incorrect, but that is correct. 3 tablespoons of paprika. We also have cumin in here, some oregano, salt and pepper. But again, the recipe is scaled. So I have it, I believe, at 40. We have it for about 40 empanadas, because once it's all said and done, you're actually only putting about 2 tablespoons of the filling inside of each empanada. And this is, can you all smell that? Is it starting to smell in here? Okay, good. I'm like, is it just me or is it smelling really good in here? I'm glad I didn't want to prep these onions during the presentation, because it was like, it had me crying. I've been cooking for a long time and I still don't really know that many great strategies for keeping your eyes from watering. Does anybody have any strategies to stop your eyes from watering, tearing up when you're cooking onions? Distance, keep it far away from you. Yes, that's a great one. Chewing gum. Something that my grandma told me that stuck with me, and it's funny, and sometimes I do it just to watch people. I do it to my kids sometimes. Putting salt on the tip of your tongue. If you put salt on the tip of your tongue, it actually works. However, it makes you drool. So you gotta figure it's really awkward. You can't bend your neck. So it's actually more funny to watch, because it actually does work. If you keep a little salt on your tongue but don't lick it, try it next time. Just see how it happens. Just don't do it while you're preparing food for other people. That's money. Yes, we have a Roboku, like a food processor where we do onions. But I'm still very old school. I kind of sometimes I just cry through the pain. Good to shed a couple tears every once in a while, you know. Just flush the system. Okay, so we're getting real close on this, Serena. I'll be getting you to come over here pretty soon. And I know this is probably looking delicious up there. We don't have a really close up, but. And so this is the filling. I actually made this filling yesterday because it's just similar to the dough. It is really delicious. You want to just pass this around? Like, don't put any, obviously, don't contaminate it, but just you could smell the finished product. And with this, of course, it's something that you could put in the refrigerator or freezer and keep, batch cook it. And I have always gone with beef because every time, thanks Serena, every time I've tried empanadas, I think it's the oil, the fat content of the beef that just really adds the flavor, which I love. So what recipes have we done so far? We started out, we did our first recipe, our first food demo, we did yellow curry with root vegetables. We did Greek gyros and fried rice. Yeah, so we kind of are doing a little culinary tour around the world. And so I don't know if we have anybody online yet, but if you all have any recommendations on what we should be cooking next, please let us know what you want to see, or I am just going to continue making my favorites. Okay. Okay, so this is almost done. Just want everything chopped up really good because the meat will absorb the flavors much better when it's all chopped up, and it just works out really well with the empanadas and the filling for that final stage. So. So a little bit more pink in there, almost good to go. Any other questions from our audience? I feel like the majority of this is me just trying to kill time while I'm waiting for this to brown. What kinds of recipes do you all like making at home? None? What's that? Oh, hot pot. Oh, I love hot pot. It's so good. Thanks for sharing. All right, I think we are looking good. The curry? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know why my pantry is always like leaning towards Asian style cooking. I didn't even hear that. What'd you say?
I said it's delicious.
Yeah. I just love the sauces, and I think it's kind of, I'm always, after working all day, you get home and you're like, look in the refrigerator, and you're like, what am I gonna make? So that's why I make a lot of soups, because just throw everything together that's, wilting away in that bottom drawer of your refrigerator. Also could do that with the fried rice. Okay, so I'm gonna take this out because we are actually gonna add these final ingredients. If you look at the recipe, we'll add the final ingredients without heat. Be careful, it's very warm. So these final ingredients we'll mix in here, and this is a really sad looking bowl to try to combine all of this stuff in. But we have our green olives, green onions, and fresh parsley that will be mixed in here. Right, that looks amazing. Okay, so without making a bigger mess up here, this is kind of the finished filling product. So the filling is all set, and so you would typically just set this aside to cool off in the refrigerator for about an hour before you fill the empanadas. And so now, Serena is gonna go do a switch out for us, clean our pan so that we can use that for cooking. But next we're gonna move into the next stage. So I'm gonna demonstrate using the dough, and then I'm gonna have some of y'all come up and assist me in actually filling these empanadas. So that should be fun. Okay, so this is our dough. Like I mentioned before, we had this from just yesterday. So I made this yesterday. The ingredients are very simple. After you pull it out of the refrigerator, you want to let it get up to room temperature before you start working with it. And it's actually really easy to work with. So unlike pizza dough or other dough that rises, this is incredibly easy to work with. So I'm just going to pinch off a little bit. So you can roll the whole thing out, or you can just do a little bit at a time. And so I think the technique that we'll use with you all is we'll just kind of do little balls. The most important part is the flour. So this will help to give us a non-stick surface while we're rolling out our dough. And then I did bring this clever little contraption. So this is an empanada press. So this just makes them look very uniform and beautiful. You can buy, I bought this on Amazon for like $5 or something like that. It is stainless steel, so that's one of the benefits with this. It'll last for a long time. But like with an empanada, you could turn them into fruit empanadas, dessert empanadas. You can make all kinds of different empanadas, which I think is beautiful. So this just makes them look extra beautiful. So that's why I brought that. So we can experiment with that, and there's also a way that we can do it without using that. So I'm just gonna flatten out the dough a little bit. Floured surface, and then we will use a rolling pin. So the fun thing with empanadas is that as you're experimenting with them, maybe they want me to do this over here. So we're trying to get the above camera. You'll notice you want to roll these out really, really thin. Otherwise, once you're eating the empanadas, you'll find that sometimes there's a lot of dough and you're getting not the proper balance of dough to filling, and that's something you want to be aware of. So we actually want to roll these out almost to like 1/8 of an inch, which is pretty thin. You'll see this dough is the structure of it holds up really nicely. I think it's all the fat that's in it that makes it flaky and delicious. So that's about the size that we want. We just want to make sure that it'll actually fit entirely in our 6-inch mold. Thank you, Serena. Just getting this ready. These scoops are amazing, so you have a uniform amount in every empanada. Use a little bit of flour on this guy so we don't start sticking everywhere. All right, and then we just place this right on top of the mold, like so. And then we add our filling right in the middle. And then we just kind of close it up. So as we close it, just make sure it doesn't stick out at the top. Squeeze it nice and hard. Just peel off the outside. And then we have a perfect little empanada pocket. How cute. So that is what our empanadas will look like upon completion. So what I would like is for a volunteer or two who wants to come up here and be brave and help me make some of these empanadas, and then I'll transition into getting them cooked so we can move on. One more person? I have gloves. Anybody? You don't have to make a whole bunch. You could come just try one and then leave. You don't. for volunteering. I'll go ahead and pull out a little bit here.
So Herbie, what if you don't have an empanada thing? Can you
Oh.
do that yourself?
Yes, you can, and I could demonstrate that as well, because there is a method to do it without the press, and it's actually pretty easy. So you always start with them in a ball, and then, you know, once you get familiar with it, you'll know exactly what size to do. So I'll leave you here, and then we have flour. So we'll start with the floured surface.
Look like gopher.
You can go ahead and grab some gloves. And what's your name?
Jen.
Jen. Thanks, Jen.
Okay, need the flour on it?
Yep, there's flour's on there, so you can, it's good if you just kind of flatten it out a little bit by hand first too sometimes.
Oh, okay.
It'll just help get it started so you're,
I think I can.
you know, hey.
I'm cooking.
Come on, Jen.
We have people doing stuff like.
Okay, so we're already floured over here.
Okay.
And so you can just try the palm method where you can kind of just start flattening it out. And since I don't have 2 rolling pins, we're just gonna have to work with it.
We have to share?
Yes, we will have to share. Or we could try both methods, because I said I was gonna do one by hand too, so we can see the difference. Get this out of the way.
Stretch it like that?
Yeah, you can. It will, it's better to flatten it out because, like,
like
or use
this?
your palm. Yeah, it's just, it will. Let's add some more flour here.
Need a more bigger?
Yes. So you want it, it's gonna have to be around this size. So have a little bit of flour in there. Yeah, so I think you just need to add a little more muscle. So let me demonstrate for you real quick. So here, instead of just rolling it back and forth, we're just push it like this. You see how it stretches it? Look at that.
More muscle.
Yeah. So just push it like that, and then, because we want it to be really thin, or else it's gonna be way too thick. There you go. Yeah, try making a whole bunch of tortillas like that too. Okay, yeah, that looks perfect. That's like the perfect size. Oh yeah, I'm down with that.
Okay.
Okay, so you're close, so we can go ahead and switch the rolling pin, so you can try the rolling pin.
Need a full?
Yes, full. That's okay. You can even just take like another little piece and fill the gap. See, you will learn once you eat them. It doesn't really matter what they look like. After a while, it's just like, yes, perfect. And then pull those guys out. And we have our another tray here. Hey, all right. Beautiful. Okay, so see, this one didn't close all the way here, so you just want to kind of just squeeze it. Yeah, I
Okay.
think it was just on the edge here.
Oh, the edge, okay,
Yeah.
I see.
Just because otherwise when we cook it, you want to make sure it's all closed, otherwise when we cook it, the filling will start coming out. Beautiful.
You want me to make it more?
Yeah, go for it. If you want to try another one, please do.
More? Yes!
Yeah, no, we don't have any other volunteers, so I'm going to get the oil heated up here so we can start pan frying these. So, this is the crossroads where you get to make a healthy choice or not. I was going to prepare them in the oven and bring them where they're already warm, but instead we're actually going to pan fry them. So I'm just going to use a small amount of oil. I'm not going to cover the whole bottom, and then we're going to pan fry them. So they could be pan fried, they could be deep fried. They taste way better this way, but if you're trying to make a healthy choice, it is definitely healthier to go the baked route. You just bake them for about 25 to 30 minutes, and you could do an egg wash on them with or a little butter, and they turn out delicious. But because we don't have an oven here, we're just gonna roll with this method.
Just stretching.
How are we doing? Yay! No, it looks a little thin, but that's okay. It puffs up once we cook it anyways. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Okay, so in our oil, we'll heat it up until we can see it kind of just smoking a little bit. Like you can see the meat through there, but that's okay. Some of these are also maybe a little too thick. So, like I said, it's not perfect.
And sorry, Chef, did you say that you were gonna show us how to do it without?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one by hand so you can see the actual hand rolling technique, because it's really just how you close it, which makes it a little different. You can make more if you want, or you're free to go.
I'm gonna watch the expert.
No, yeah, hardly. I'm not an expert at anything. That's the beauty about cooking. You don't have to be an expert. Have you ever made it like something amazing and you can never replicate it?
Oh, no.
Or when you like come out with a really good sauce? Uh-oh,
Not cover.
that's okay.
Great job. I gotta do put. That's not good.
That's okay. We could fix that one.
Right, so put the Band-Aid on it.
I'm gonna cook that one just for you.
Put the Band-Aid on it.
Okay, our oil is looking pretty good right now.
Okay, don't see this, nobody. Don't see nobody.
All right, we're going for it. And we are also a little nervous about cooking in here, just because we don't want to set off any alarms, but Jim assured us we should be okay. Oh, I was gonna,
What did I do?
you didn't do anything, you're perfect. I need to have you every single demonstration. This makes it fun. I was gonna do one by hand so we could see the difference of what those look like.
So we're doing our perfect one, that's why.
Hey, I love that. Go after it.
Supposed to be cut it. It's not.
No, so it's just the main thing is that you have to make sure that it's expanded over the entire diameter of this.
Okay.
Because once it closes, these edges is what pushes it.
Is it right here?
Yeah, so like you see here, if you put it up a little bit more. And I don't have a knife, but actually.
Not sharp. Okay, that's better.
Yeah, so that's good.
Okay, that's a good one.
Perfect, you got it.
Okay, I'm done.
Yep, got the perfect one.
You got the perfect one, you are free to go.
Okay.
Okay, so for the hand-rolled version, so it's basically the same concept, but we just close it up like that. I don't know if you guys can't even really see this, so just looks like the other one, but a little bit more sad. And then so what we actually do is you start on the edge and you roll it in and pinch it, and you just keep rolling and pinching, and it gives you this nice little braided finished look. So you roll it and pinch it around so it looks something like that. So obviously I'm doing it up in the air so that doesn't look very pretty. Yeah, I want to do that over again, but it's still edible, but they turn out looking different, and my daughter actually does that much better than I do. That's why I prefer the press.
What if you wanted to use a dessert filling?
Ooh,
What would you recommend? What kind of considerations?
oh my goodness. Where do you begin? There's really no limitation. I mean, once you try this dough, it's not particularly salty. It's buttery, so it goes like with sweet or savory. So there's really no limitations. But I mean, you could easily do like an apple pie, or I'm thinking like a banana. Like you could do like bananas inside of it with some cream. But any type of fruit compote would work really well. Nobody wants to try to make any? Everybody just wants ready to sample, huh? Okay. Our oil was being a little finicky here, so, and then really at this stage, what you're going for is just really making sure everything's browned properly, and it has a nice golden brown look, because fortunately everything has been cooked inside, so we're trying to ideally reach a minimum internal temperature of 165, which is just to reheat it. But we're not really worried about it being raw inside, which is good. And I think once we do start sampling, we're gonna have to have everybody come up on the stage, because there's no food allowed in the audience. Okay, I know you guys can't really see this, but they're looking brown. They're looking like empanadas. Doing well. Just having a hard time managing the temperature of the oil here. It's without it smoking too much, triggering our fire. We don't want that to happen. It's looking good. You're not seeing any peripheral smoke from over there? That's good. Oh, you can see it? Nice. I'm glad we got the video up and running. Any other questions as we kind of wait for these to cook? Food preparation, health and wellness, nothing else? Anybody up to anything for the holidays? Any holiday traditions coming up for Thanksgiving? Anything around food that everybody does? No?
I always make mac and cheese. It's one of the only things they know how to make.
That is a staple.
Go-to dish. So if you ever invite me over for a potluck, I'm bringing mac and cheese.
Do you make it like a casserole style?
Casserole
Mac
style,
and cheese
get it in the
casserole.
oven. I like it hot, so I add some cayenne. I'm not the biggest breadcrumbs fan. I can do half and half. Somebody wants some breadcrumbs on there.
Oh, a little, yeah, use a little panko crumbs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like making ham and like you start cooking it before and like a pot of soda. Or I don't, it tastes really good. Yeah. Like he uses the soda and like a bunch of other ingredients to marinate the ham.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what helps it, like really glazes it once you cook it, yeah.
Coca-Cola or Pepsi.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What was that recommendation, Chris?
They use the Mexican Coke. They use
Oh, yeah.
Coke, because it's actually made with
Cane sugar?
instead of corn syrup. That way it's
Mm-hmm.
better.
Oh, nice. And sometimes it's more affordable too, depending on what store you go to.
Okay, so should we just give these, like, should we just do whole empanadas or cut them in half? You have a recommendation? We good? Like, I think we got plenty here for everyone to have a whole one.
Yeah, it's not whole.
Okay.
I might not be able to see from here, but like how, like it's just like a little bit of olive oil or?
I'm correct. Yeah, I'm just using a small amount of olive oil. So as you can see, it's not fully deep frying it. It's just more like a pan frying it. So, but that's why the temperature of the oil is really important, because if it isn't hot enough, the dough will actually absorb a lot of the oil. So that's why I was just being very cautious, like hoping that this is the right temperature.
So does that mean you cannot put it in the many, only you can do by one?
Oh, I mean, I could definitely do more. I just wanted to do them in batches because I was worried that they weren't being cooked properly. So, because the oil seems to be getting hot and cold. Okay. Could serve them in here. So I could transfer them here and move them over here, and then if we want to just have people start coming up. Alrighty, a couple of these popped open, which is totally fine. These are some, I haven't used these tongs before. These are a little crazy. They're like popping way open on me.
Now, since the air fryer is a popular piece of equipment now, I have never had the pleasure of using one. I would imagine that we could pop those in an air fryer too, quick and easy.
Very good point. Yes, the air fryer would be a fantastic method of cooking these. So, wait, this is like, do you see this? This is really causing some problems right now. Those are not working for me. Yeah, the air fryer would be amazing. That would really just lock in all of the flavor. And you're also not adding that extra oil too, which is good.
Can you just brush it with oil since that heat's going right on it, crisp it up?
Say that again?
You just brush it with the oil since the heat's going on it, or just crisp it up a bit?
Yeah, you could brush some oil on there. Like I said, you could do like an egg wash, which is basically just a scrambled egg that you can do on the outside. You can just hit it with some pan spray, like some olive oil or avocado oil pan spray. That will work well as well. All of those are great options. Okay.
Folks want to start lining up over here to have a taste. As you mentioned, please stay on stage for your tasting experience as we are in the theater. No food again. Thank you.
Okay, so here are the empanadas, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get some of these in. Can you come grab this? This is the secret ingredient. So just stir that up a bit so it's ready to go, and then
keep them coming.
yeah, I'm making more, so that's why I was asking. We don't have enough for everybody yet, but oh wait, yeah, that's the chimichurri. So
And then this is just some
no, this is sorry, this was
extra stuff.
this was the rest of the topping for the filling. Yes, so. So
So
this this goes inside of the filling. So that's all already inside.
Yeah, I know. I was like, you put some more.
It was, yeah, that's just the parsley. So that's the flat leaf parsley. Alrighty, now we are moving.
Come on in. More? Yeah.
You like the chimichurri? I love cutting it open, and then like I would cut it in half with a knife and then add the chimichurri inside. It's so good. So
Email us. I would love to be. Okay, Serena. Nice to meet you. So yeah, definitely reach out to us, and we will be sending a follow-up survey and stuff. So let us know your interest. If you want to.
sorry, Shree. You're gonna be on the first round. I know.
I'm not sure what they look like.
And you're patient too. Yeah, come. You can take a look. So these are the finished ones. These are the ones that we had some assistants making here, and these are the ones that I did earlier.
I learned that you can also use a fork with it.
Yes, correct. Yeah, if you want to add the little edges.
Yeah.
And this is the one with the little braided. So this is how I've seen them do them in Argentina and Costa Rica. They don't use this thing.
Yeah, that's
Press.
pretty incredible. Because I was thinking a lot about pork too with them.
Mm-hmm.
So
The
like,
pork chorizo, that's what.
oh, I grew up with that. I love it.
Yes, que rico, so good. Yeah, the chorizo, you could do lamb meat. I mean, you could even do like all kinds of, like you could do like chopped carne asada.
Oh yeah, like
I mean, there's no,
I'm a sucker for good food.
you just can't really go wrong. There's so many options with these guys.
That's like,
Thank you all. Thanks for helping. I'll look at my schedule. Well, yeah, that's good. People asking questions.
You've got plenty.
Yeah, and I don't know if you all want to take more home, but we still have more dough. So if we want to keep rolling, I mean, I could keep rolling if we want to make more. There you go, Serena. That's the spirit. Enough for at least another half a dozen.
I guess for folks who might be watching live, and send us an email if they want to ask a question.
Yeah, we are.
It's not Teams.
We are in real time. We don't have Teams. We're no longer using Zoom, so we don't have that live chat feature.
Yeah, you can email the wellness program.
Yes.
If you have questions.
Yes, email us if you have any questions about our demo today. You want to become more engaged with our wellness committee.
I'm monitoring it now.
All right, we do have our committee at the ready, fielding any questions via email. Everybody's back here in the green room.
They're enjoying. I know, right? It's beautiful.
Hey, if you want to make, we're just going through the rest of this dough here,
What
so.
did you learn? What do I need to do?
Oh,
Put some flour on it?
flour helps it from sticking.
Okay.
And then the main thing is you really need to like push it
Push
out.
hard,
So I
yeah.
would not, actually I find that the handles don't work that good.
Oh.
So if you just put it on here and then just you really trying to push it out. So you're not just trying to get this to roll.
Yeah.
You can see how it moves.
Oh, okay.
So you really want to just get in there and push it. There you go. And then going from like, if you go clockwise or counterclockwise in a circle, that helps to make it even. Okay, where is our, can I have that pan? Oh, I'll grab that pan. You are so welcome. Thank you. We'll have to bring one for Jen. Did you? Oh, okay. Well, I'll freeze some and bring some.
Oh, yeah, we did the one, right? And then. Professional. Yeah, I know. They showed me how the real way to do it, I think.
Mm-hmm. Well, here.
So, is that big enough? So you gotta make sure it's big enough so it goes to the side. That side a little bit more. Teamwork. Teamwork. Thank you. You guys take care. See you next time.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just like, I don't want the edges aren't crispy enough for me. All right, Sri, we're almost ready for you. Have quite a few.
Covered, right?
There's a couple over here. Help yourself.
And then, oh yeah. Well, it was cooked yesterday, just not warm. But then it will get heat up when we cook them right now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for staying.
Yes. I don't need to like spread it out or anything. You just want it up like
Yeah, as long as it's all the way around the diameter of it, yeah.
And then-
And then as you close it, you just want to make sure you're not closing the meat in.
Okay.
Yeah, so you kind of just push it down a little bit. Yeah, there you go.
And then
That's the vinegar that went in the chimichurri. Yeah, the chimichurri, like I said, that's my favorite. Like
It works really well with it, like a nice taste.
Oh, I'd be the person that cuts my finger off, so. I'll just go like that.
it's not the proper knife. I had to like try to anticipate everything I was getting. Is it pulling apart?
Yeah.
So to avoid that, sometimes I'll use a little bit of water. You know, like if you're making wontons and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
So it's really just elbow grease. You just gotta force it.
Yeah, there you go, Eddie. Okay, then we'll just turn it into one that you do with your hands, whatever that little folding thing is. So what did I learn from the corners? And just fold it into itself. Pick a fold.
Thank you.
God.
Beautiful. Yeah, I'm just very particular about these edges. I'm like girls in their hair, the edges. I'm like, I need to get the
I don't
edges.
even do my work.
This is gonna give you energy for the rest of the evening.